Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for your Manchester City versus Chelsea review. 2-0 down, 2-0 defeat. You're probably thinking, why is he more upbeat? Why is he smiling? Because you just have to live with your own failures sometimes, It brought you right back to me, on my channel. So welcome back. Not you didn't fail, but our team did, and that's why you're here, because, yeah. So let me just move on. To be honest, I didn't expect us to win. People were asking for my honest predictions. I said 3-1 defeat, maybe 2-1 if you're lucky. I think I said 2-1 on the preview and extended it to 3. But at the end of the day, I didn't expect us to win. So all I was really looking forward to was hopefully getting a performance, be competitive, and have a decent showing. Be entertaining, decent football. And to be honest, we did get that. I thought the game was very even today, split by a hair, by a fingernail, split by finishing, split by quality, and split by individual mistakes from us and a little bit of stupidity and a lack of concentration. But in terms of us, I thought we were actually really good. In terms of, we played pretty well. Yes, we played against their B team, but we also put out our B team. We won't let the narrative be painted that they played their B team and we were playing some sort of ace. No, we played a very heavily rotated. There was a couple key cogs in there, Cover and Koulibaly and whatnot, but most of that team is rotated. And for me, I felt like we played quite well. You take a look at that first half, you think to yourself, right, Manchester City, Jack Grealish is coming in off that left-hand side really well. He's getting in between the lines, he's in the pocket, he's linking up 1-2s, and he's taking shots, and he's causing us to foul him and create opportunities. And this is where, when people say Jack Grealish has had a good game but he's got no GA, this is where you have to watch a game like this, because Jack Grealish was probably, for me, Man City's best player, or at least one of their best players. He was taking shots, creating chances, winning free kicks, and being a menace and being a problem, and very clean and productive with his play. So this is the kind of game where Man City fans will say, do you know what? He played well, he didn't get any GA, Pep was happy, I'm happy, we won, move on. Why would we ask more? Yes, he cost a lot, but it was a good performance. And for me, from our side of things, with the lineup especially, I thought, I'm happy to see Lewis Hall, I'm happy to see Zakaria, I'm happy to see Broja, I'm happy to see Pulisic. I was a little bit disappointed, actually very disappointed, not to see Amari Hutchinson in the starting 11, and even more disappointed not to see him come on at all. I thought Amari Hutchinson 100% could have come in any point in this game and just had at least some sort of contribution and involvement. And especially when you see Lewis Hall, who we're going to start with because he's the big main positive, 18 years old, comes to the Etihad and has a really, really accomplished, mature, composed performance. In that first half especially, that's where most of his highlights will come from. Yes, he missed 2 big chances today, 100%. The right-footed shot that was set up by Ziyech and the right-footed shot that was set up by Pulisic. That was the time that Pulisic decided to pass to him, not the other time where he went in alone and had the shot saved, where Lewis Hall was wide open. But listen, he took responsibility and he unfortunately didn't get the goal. Really good goalkeeping performance from the Man City keeper. But Lewis Hall today was everything that I want to see going forward in a Chelsea team. He was composed, he was press resistant, he was accomplished on the ball, he was progressive with his passing. He even took a couple players on. I think he led for dribbles completed before he came off. And I thought he really deserved to get the full 90, but he comes off anyway. So he was really good today. And for someone that was 18 making their second Chelsea appearance, I think since Chesterfield in the FA Cup, I was very impressed with him. He didn't look like a fish out of water. He didn't look like a player that needed to be cuddled or cozied up to. He was actually elevating the team, not taking away from the team. And I think that should inspire more bravery, hopefully, from Potter in the future to try these guys out in games where you can, especially against Zagreb on match day 6. I was hoping to see some more youngsters. Yes, a lot of them was ineligible. But I thought seeing that kind of performance would kind of spark life into him to bring Hutchinson on instead of a Kai, who didn't really need to come on. Kai didn't really need to feature today. We've seen a lot of him, and we haven't seen a lot of brilliance in the Arsenal game from any of those forwards. So I thought, good opportunity to throw in a young player that's been pretty, daring and audacious and unpredictable, and just give us something, give us some more entertainment as the game goes on. But we'll get onto that later. So he played well. I thought as the game moved on, Pulisic and Ziyech were starting to play even better and better. I think Pulisic was good today. The finishing, again, everybody today finishing-wise, L for everybody. Like, we could have had 2-3 goals in this game, and especially in the first half, we could have had goals. Like I said, Lewis Hall, he missed a couple big chances with his right foot. You saw a chance from Broja where maybe he could have played it off, but he skied it. Ziyech had a couple shots. Pulisic had a massive opportunity. Actually, I think Pulisic had 2 or 3 big opportunities. I might be miscounting, but he was also set up by Ziyech for the one on the right. Ziyech, as the game went on, I thought was good as well. You know my opinions on Ziyech. I don't think he's the long-term answer. I do think he's limited. I wouldn't keep him really anywhere past January, but praise when it's due, credit where it's due. He was good today, and as the game went on, he got better and better. He creates 2 big opportunities for Lewis Hall and for Pulisic. Pulisic creates a big opportunity for Lewis Hall as well, so he was good today as well, despite the finishing. And Ziyech was creating chances and creating problems. There was a really poor overhit pass from Ruben Loftus-Cheek that somehow Ziyech managed to get to and produce skill, individualism, whatever you want to call it, and create that chance for Lewis Hall. So I think Ziyech today he responded at least. And with a player like this, where we're questioning his attitude, we're questioning his commitment, we're questioning his desire, whether he wants to be here, I'm still questioning those things. But today he stood up and he was actually effective, and he was actually causing issues, and I thought he was good before he came off, and it was nice to see some sort of response. And I thought, like I said, I thought Pulisic had a good game. He had a great 1-2 of Ziyech that led to that chance for Hall that he found. He obviously maybe could have passed to Hall earlier for the other chance, but he also was just taking people on and causing problems again and being lively and being involved. And the one thing I will say with this team, which is why I'm a little bit more upbeat today, is because at least they showed some sort of commitment to try and cause Manchester City problems. We knew today we were coming up against a team that are better than us and that are in better form and that will probably win. But what we did want to see is a better performance, because this was a stark contrast to what we saw against Arsenal. Today we actually moved the ball forward, we countered quickly, we had people knitting our attack together, whether it be Broja dropping in deep and linking up the play, or it be Pulisic playing the 1-2 of Ziyech. We actually countered properly today. We had good counter-attacks. So as much as I'm disappointed and really annoyed and almost laughable, to be honest, it's almost comedic how bad we are at finishing. It's like they get paid more to miss chances. Ball that comes into the box, whether it be bad connections in terms of your feet not really connecting with the football properly, which is what happened with that Pulisic chance. I know there was a deflection, but the ball's cut back to you. If you just connect with that properly, with power, a lot of our players seem to lack power with their shooting, even with the accuracy, but they lack power, they lack conviction. If you hit that properly, that's a goal. Lewis Hall, both of them on the right foot, cool. But there's other chances. So yeah, the finishing is horrendous, and we know that. But at least today, we actually showed that we were going to come here and we were going to give a little bit of something. Now, where does that stem from? I think this team is mentally a cup team, and they've shown that record-wise with Tuchel, but also in this match mentally, they just seem to release the shackles a bit more. Even Potter, they just played quicker. They played with more intention, with more aggression. And it's almost like they knew that today there's a cup game. We're either going home or we're staying in. Man City are expected to win, so there's no pressure. And I didn't feel any pressure before the match. I thought, you know what, we'll see what happens, cool. And you saw that in the performance. It was almost like, okay, let's just go out there and let's just try and let's see what happens. And, but for some better finishing, we could have won. So if you watch this game, you would have saw 2 even teams, 2 good performances from both teams. But. The goals we conceded today, because we have to get onto that. The goals we conceded, I've got all the positives out. The goals we conceded, I thought Cucurella was better as well. I think he contested for his ground duels quite well. The goals we conceded today were awful. From Trevor giving away a stupid free kick for Mahrez, and then Koulibaly apparently not jumping in that wall. I was looking at Broja because he looked like he could get to it maybe, but he didn't avoid it. He just couldn't reach it. Koulibaly didn't jump. I thought it was Kante. I literally thought, okay, well, maybe that's just the height of the man because he's not jumped. So, or maybe that's him jumping. He didn't jump. Apparently he didn't jump. But silly tackle from Koulibaly. But then, the second goal, man, it's like, this is where Chelsea are frustrating. We're in the game, we're playing well, you go 1-0 down. Right, calma, keep it calm. But what do? You capitulate inside 5 minutes. Thankfully, it didn't become 4, 5, 6, but Koulibaly is 1v1 with Alvarez. He switches play. No problem with that. Now stay with your man. You're experienced, you're 31. And I was asking the question during the watch along. I hope this man improves and quickly, because when Thiago Silva leaves at the end of this season, most likely, even if he doesn't, Koulibaly has to be able to lead this defence. That's what he was purchased for. 31 years old, reputation, that's what you were purchased for. And he's been very, very erratic. He's been very almost inexperienced with the way that he's lunged into tackles. I understand, quoted, that he was, struggling, or he was at least trying to adapt to this new three at the back system. And I do think he's better in the middle than on the left, because I don't want him stepping forward into the midfield. I want him to be in the middle as a centre back, free, and I want him to dictate and to organise and to spray passes with left and right foot. He's not a Rudiger, but you cannot be rash and getting booked for silliness like you have been. You cannot be losing your man Alvarez and letting him wander off into the woods and score on a free at the back post when you could have easily blocked that, out-muscled him physically and blocked it, from that ball coming in if you had stuck with your man. And that's just poor concentration, that's ball watching. And that's not good enough for someone of your age and your standing and your reputation. That's something I expect from a young defender. So you got to pick up. You got to pick up and quick, because outside of that, defensively, yes, they had their shots and a couple saves from Mendy. They're always going to have that. But I thought the game was even. And like I said, I think we could have got back into it, but that moment ruined it. Now, the last part I want to talk about is, as I alluded to with Hutchinson, Potter's subs. Potter's subs were pretty poor for me personally. I wasn't happy to see, Mount and Kai coming on, mainly because I didn't really feel like they needed to. We were 2-0 down. Were we really going to get back? Okay, maybe you felt like we would. But taking off Brozier as well and having no recognised striker up top, it's not for me, having Sterling up there as a false nine. So I didn't like that. And like I said, I didn't feel like Mount and Kai were going to be annoyed if they didn't get minutes. I know we've seen quotes that Mount must play every game, and, people have already spoken on that. I hope that he's not influencing your team selection other than what he does on the training pitch, because you do need to still make the decisions as to whether who to drop and who to not. And anybody can be dropped regardless of what they need. Whether they're performing or not is what matters. But did they need to come on those two when they're probably going to play against Newcastle? Whether they should or not is a better question. But no, I think you could have brought on Hutchinson. I really do think you could have given Hutchinson his debut. You already saw a good cameo from a young player in Lewis Hall. That should have inspired you to throw another cameo out there and see what you can get. I think Hutchinson would have been, he would have been a good impact to bring on. Gallagher comes on, no problem with that. Aspie comes on for a book, Trevor, no problem with that. But having no striker, not getting Hutchinson on, and seeing the same faces that we just saw at the weekend, for me, was unnecessary in a game that we were going to lose regardless. But it is what it is. We moved to Newcastle. Whether or not these performances from Ziyech, from Pulisic, for me, Pulisic has to start against Newcastle. He has to. He's shown time and time again that he can at least be a positive impact on the team. Yes, his finishing was poor tonight, but he was a danger. He was a threat. And that's more than I can say for most of our attackers against Arsenal. Actually, all of them. So he definitely deserves to start for me. Ziyech, listen, he's only had one good cameo. I don't know about that one. I'm not going to push that one too hard, but he was good today. Lewis Hall has once again shown that if you give an opportunity to a young, talented player in the academy, they can actually potentially give you something to think about. Just not only now, but helping the team, but also with how you spend your money. So big up to him. But yeah, Cucurella was better today, which is good. Like I said, he won 4 out of 4 with his ground duels when I was checking. And Loftus-Cheek, he's not a starter in this midfield. That's what I'll end on. If you're really serious about building a midfield, I know he's had good moments this season, but he, at his age, take empathy or emotion or loyalty or Cobham or whatever out of it, he is not a good enough passer of the football to play in a Chelsea midfield. And it is as simple as that. To start in a Chelsea double pivot, you've got to be a great passer. You look at Gundogan on the opposite side. The overhit pass for Ziyech was honestly, it was almost beyond laughable. It's such a simple pass to play, and to overhit that speaks volumes. So he has had a couple bad games, and he needs to fix up quick because we have injuries in that area. But that is an area of the pitch that we still need to improve anyway, transfer-wise. So it is what it is on that front. Big up your damn selves. Let me know in the comments what you think. And Phil, we move on to Newcastle on Saturday, 5 p.m. kickoff at St James's Park. Hopefully, please to God, we get something out of it. But listen, Newcastle are in serious form. We'll get more on that in the previews. All You Can Eat Chelsea's delayed to Friday, but I'll be doing a bit of career mode tomorrow, so you're going to get your content regardless. Much love and guidance to all of you. Smash up the likes button and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't. We're nearly at 33k. In a bit, people. Peace.